And then what you're trying to do is basically just build some pain so they call you and give them one call to action. Make it very simple. Say, hey, so and so, I'm a web developer. I noticed that your competition's website is doing better in Google. I think there's a couple things that you can improve. It's very obvious when you look at these two screenshots. This is your competitor. This is your website. If you'd like to, discuss how we can improve your website, give me a call here or email me back here and we can schedule a time. Very simple, casual website, not salesy, like just like, hey, notice your website blows and your competitors is great. Give me a call. And you can do that to like the whole list, make a list of 50 of them. And more than likely, you're going to get at least one person contact you back. Right. And if not, you continue calling them like part of sales. And I've talked about this before in other live streams we've done, but I've done a lot of sales in my life. And part of that is part of the sales process is not just one and done. Like you have to contact people multiple times. So they don't respond to your email, give them a call and say, hey, John Smith, I emailed you the other day. Did you happen to get my email? I was talking about your competitor's website and how we can improve your website. Would you like to hear, how we can do that? So, yeah.
I was just gonna say no. I think that's good advice because every phone call you make, every time you reach out, that's experience. Whether it leads to a job or
Totally.
not, it's experience getting over that fear that you have. Because everybody has that fear, dude, of contacting people randomly to sell stuff. No, nobody initially wants to do that, but you get over it really fast because it's not a big deal. And you're
Yeah.
reaching out to people who need the service. That's the other thing. You're finding them. That's nice. Like imagine if you needed a website and somebody came to you. That's like, like that's awesome.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing. So like everybody wants to get a job with a big company. But if you don't have projects you've done on your own, if you don't have websites that you build on your own, no company's gonna really take you on because it's a lot of risk on their end.
Yeah.
But if you've been doing this, not only are you making money making websites for other people, but then supposing, 6 months down the line, a year down the line, you want to go and apply for that job wherever, they're gonna say, do you have experience? And you'd be like, as a matter of fact, here's 20 websites that I already made. And they'll be like,
Yeah.
oh,
For
okay.
real businesses with
Yeah.
real users, right? That matters because I've spoken to so many people
Yeah.
who've done a boot camp, a university degree, had private coaching, had a career coach, had a recruiter working with them, and they still couldn't find a job. And the number one thing that I asked them, the first question is, have you built anything for real that people use? And they always are like, no, I just did all the boot camp stuff. And I'm like, that's the number one reason
Yeah.
why no one wants to hire you because you can't prove that you can even do this. Like you're just showing them a to-do app that you copied somebody else. It doesn't work that way.
Well, the other thing too is when you build real projects, you can explain them from
Yes.
start to finish. You can explain all the things, problems you had, how you solved them, and that's what companies want to know in the hiring process. They
Yeah,
want
they
to
want
understand,
problem solvers.
yeah, yeah, what's your thought process? How'd you figure this out? What did you do when you ran into this? And if you just did like, projects from tutorials and things from boot camp, you're not gonna have any answers to that because you didn't run into anything. It was all for you, made for you, made to
Yeah.
work.
Yeah, totally. Well, we're getting to the end here. Before we sort of head out, I want to say a couple things. Number one is I want to just talk briefly about what options people can use for low code solutions. And then also, I realize that this conversation is just scratching the surface of what it takes to actually like go from, hey, I don't know how to build a website to I have a paying client now. How do I deal with this? Right. And one of the benefits of being inside our web dev incubator is that you have three coaches, the three of us here, who walk you through every step of that. Right. When Eric got his first discovery call, I was like, hey, dude, I'll jump on that call with you and I'll be there as like moral support and message you through Telegram so that, you know the right questions to ask and like things like that. So it is tough in the beginning, admittedly, if you don't have sales experience, if you don't have experience building websites, if you just don't feel comfortable with it, which you're not going to the first time, the best thing that you can actually do for yourself is have a coach, somebody who can like give you the next step, right? Because this big thing of going from I don't know how to build a website to I have a customer and I'm building them a website and delivering it. There's a lot of steps in there, and we glossed over like a lot of that right now. And you're going to need to know that. So if you do want to know that, if you want that support group, we're here for you. We have, a premium product, which is our web dev incubator, where we actually coach students one-on-one in group settings on anything that they're working on. So whether that's, finding a client right now so that I can start getting paid as a web developer, or that's learning Next.js, or that's learning CSS, right? We do it all. So that's a really great opportunity. But before we sort of head out, you guys want to give some suggestions of a couple different low code solutions that you think are useful for people, maybe small learning curves so that they can build websites for people. They don't need to know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. They can literally just like drag and drop and build websites.
Well, anything like Squarespace and stuff are great. There's tons out there, and I think
Yeah.
they'll let you, if you do know some HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, they'll let you do some modifications to it as well if you know what you're doing. And I mean, they have great templates and stuff that you can choose from. Makes it very easy to find something that works for your client. I think those are great places to start.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I would suggest the same. Like Squarespace is usually my go-to just because I've been using it the longest. It
I think they're
has
one of the
very
best
full
ones, aren't
featured.
they, too? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I will say this though, there's price involved with everything. So depending upon the features that you want, you may have to pay a little bit more. And ultimately that's not you, that's the client. They have to pay for that. So who cares at that point, right? Um, so Squarespace is a good option. Also, Wix is a good option. I know Anthony has used that inside of our group. He's built a lot of projects with Wix, so that's another great one. WordPress is an option, but it is a bit more complicated, I would say, for most people. There's a learning curve. And also with WordPress, you have to handle hosting and things like that. And, it's not always the best. My experience is that, like, I don't personally like WordPress websites. I feel like they were great years ago, but they're a little bit
Exactly.
now.
10, 15 years ago, WordPress was the go-to. I made hundreds of
Yeah.
WordPress sites back in the day,
Yeah.
but nowadays I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole.
It's also,
Squarespace is the
Agreed.
way to
yeah.
go.
It's
Yeah.
also important
And
to keep in mind, too, that if you're going to hand this thing off, the
they have to
business
be able
owner is
to,
going to be able to work with it, right? And
yeah.
Squarespace stuff is much easier to work with. Like if you're not going to be
Yeah.
managing the updates and everything like that down the road, you need to hand this thing off. It needs to be something the owner can actually do too. And you need to keep that in
Yeah.
mind.
And honestly, that's actually a perk for most business owners. Something that you can tell them when you're pitching them is that, hey, when I finish building this website, I'm building it with Squarespace. You can tell them that. And then say, like, I'll give you a 30-minute instructional on how to use it and how to update your website. Business owners love that because then they have the freedom to change things later to, like, I'm working with a business owner right now, and I can't tell you, like, every time I get on a call with him, he wants to change like the text of the website, and it's like he's changing the text he's already changed himself before. And I'm like, listen, like, that's great, but like, we don't need to make those changes now, because when I pass this off to you, you can change any word you want on the website as many times as you want. Like, that's on you. So yeah, I mean, that's a great one. And then the other one I was going to suggest is, if you're building some e-commerce site, because that's another thing that you're going to get a lot, is there's a website called Shopify,
Oh
which
yeah,
is
they are good.
very similar to Squarespace in the way that it's like a drag and drop builder, but it's specifically for e-commerce. And it works really well. It has different integrations built into it. You can build your own store, and there are plenty of other ones out there. So I don't necessarily recommend like just those ones are the only ones to look at. Based on your needs, your budget, what you're most comfortable with, there may be other ones. So you can very easily just Google them or use ChatGPT to list them out for you. Just say, low code website builders.
And once you know what the project requires too, then you can start exploring your options and decide which is best. And they have clear pricing. It's not like it's hard to figure out what it's going to ultimately
Yes.
cost the client. So they'll know ahead of time and everything too.
Yeah.
Nice.
So cool. I hope you guys got a lot of value. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you are interested in getting some extra help becoming a web developer or landing clients, that is exactly what we do inside of our web dev incubator. It is not a boot camp. It is a coaching program. We are coaches just like your football coaches in high school or your soccer coaches or whatever. You want to become a professional soccer player. We're the people who help guide you and give you feedback on what you're doing and help you just become a better web developer. So if that's what you're looking for, we're happy to have a discussion with you about the program. There's no pressure. We do free action calls We give you 30 minutes of value of, just getting information about what you're doing, giving you some free feedback. And then if the program's good for you, awesome. If not, that's that. It's fine. But if you're looking for that extra little bit to get you outside of this like spiraling of self learning, because we all we're there, we all went through
Yeah.
that. We were like, this web development's cool. And then like one day we're like, you know what? I'm actually going to take this seriously. Instead of just sort of like playing around with it. Like it's a fun game. I want this to be my career. If that's you, if you want this to be your career, we're here to support you. So you can drop in the description here in the comments, the word money.
There you go.
Today we're talking about making money as a web developer.